Right, hello everyone. Welcome to the WrestleFriends Podcast with me, Dave, and I'm here with Mark.
Hi guys.
Twiddling with knobs. He's a knob twiddler. And Jake's back. Hey! Welcome back, Jake. Nice to see you still alive. And we've got a very special treat today. We've got Tom.
Woo!
Yeah.
Number one WrestleFriend.
Number one. WrestleFriends forever. With that, you know how you got BFFs when you want for like WrestleFFs? WFFs? No?
Negatoid.
No, not happening. Right, haven't seen each other all week because
World Wrestling Friends.
World Wrestling Friends.
WWF.
I don't know if that goes against the whole panda thing.
Yeah,
the pandas might go in the book.
Little pandas. Yeah, we've got lots coming up on today's show. Your usual WrestleThoughts mystery match. Jake's back, so we can do our quiz this week. We've also got. Have you done a poem, Tom?
I have got a poem.
It's probably the highlight of the show.
I like how Tom, because we're going to interview Tom later for the first WrestleFriends interview, but I like how you're so prepared for the episode.
Oh
as well.
yeah, definitely. Done me research.
And you've done. Did you say you've done a game before?
It's in the poetry section.
Tied
It's
into
like
the
you've got to guess who the wrestler is, sort of thing. I mean, they're not difficult, but it'd be fun.
Nicely done. Are we gonna just jump straight into it then?
Yes.
Okay then, because the first thing on the agenda is my WrestleThoughts. WrestleThoughts, woo, do 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 do. I've been thinking WrestleThoughts, woo.
I like it.
I thought you could have all joined in with the woo.
Dovetail.
But
Well, no, because it says on the running order, Dave's content and theme for WrestleThoughts 1.
I know, but I thought that song sort of encouraged sort
Do
of.
you want to do it again?
Yes. So when we do the woohoo, I would like everyone to join in and do a little bit of a woohoo.
Right, got
You're
it.
allowed to do this, okay?
Okay.
But don't keep doing it after I finish doing it, alright?
Okay, I'll put
I'm going to count us in, right? 1, 2, 3. WrestleThoughts. Woo! Do-do-do-do. I've been thinking WrestleThoughts. Woo!
Yeah, that was it. That was organic.
Much better. Alright, my WrestleThoughts this week. I've been thinking about Impact Wrestling again for my sins.
The only one.
Yeah. Did you know that they put the wrong show on Spike TV the other week? So they're trying to make Impact great again, but what they did was put the wrong show on TV.
Is that like making Darren Young great again?
I think I might have nicked that actually. Yeah. Anyway, that's not my thought. My thought is Scott Steiner returned. Did you see? Big pop pump and his big stupid arms.
How does he look nowadays?
He looks like he used to look, but he looks like someone stuck a bicycle pump up his arse and just sort of pumped him up a bit. Maybe that's what he gets his name from. Big Papa Pump.
Maybe.
Or maybe he just
With a bicycle pump.
eats too many beans. What?
He's a strange looking human.
Yeah.
Tom is a personal trainer. How do you get to look like Scott Steiner?
There is only one way of getting to look like that, and I wouldn't want to go out and slander the man, but it's roids.
Yeah, well, you'll not be.
Lawsuit.
I do obviously Impact don't have a wellness policy like WWE. So he's returned anyway. He's teaming with Josh Matthews of former WWE fame.
What, the commentator?
He's commentating
backstage
now, but he does he's having some sort of feud with Jeremy Borash, of commentary fame.
He was a wrestler. He was on the first NXT before they thought you can't wrestle that good. Do some talk instead.
He wasn't. He was before NXT.
Very first NXT.
Really?
If I'm wrong, if people could contact us with Josh Matthews's
you can contact
lineage
us seamlessly on the WrestleFriends Podcast at yahoo.com. Maybe you'll find us on Facebook at the WrestleFriends Podcast.
Wait, this was
Look for us on Twitter at friends_wrestle, or we're on Instagram at the WrestleFriends Podcast.
Jake, did you have a thought?
This wouldn't. Wait, this is meant to be later, and
I am going to
meant
put
be at
our
the end.
social. I'm going to slip that in. I'm going to slip it in good whenever I feel like it.
Slip it
Because
right in.
the more times I mention that, I'm hoping that people will actually contact us and say nice things.
You're gonna
Maybe some horrible things that
You're going to lube up the email and pop it in.
I'm going to lube it up nice and slip it in. Yes?
Wasn't that social media thing meant to be at the end?
Yeah, we've just talked about this.
The more you say it,
the more you
the
say
more
it,
it gets in
the
people's
more it
heads.
sinks in.
Yeah,
Right, people might not message us because we're jerks, but
Don't be a jerk. Right,
I'm
anyway.
not a jerk.
Answers on a
we're
postcard.
jerks on it.
So, Scott Steiner's back. He's teaming with Josh Matthews. So they're doing the old commentator feud thing. Not a big fan of that. Didn't even like it when they used to do it in WWE. Thought it was a bit naffy.
Is that going back to the Michael Cole getting in the ring with his headgear?
Yeah, rubbish. And then, so Abyss came back and he's Joseph Park, sort of
I
like.
love that. It's so good.
He's sort of like, he's not Abyss anymore, he's Joseph Park. But there was a funny segment where Josh Matthews was actually sat on the commentary table pointing in his face going, "You're Abyss, damn it! You're Abyss, you don't even know who you are!" But yeah, it's probably the best thing in Impact at the minute. But what I was going to ask was, because WWE seem to scoop up all of the legends, good people, like Scott Steiner has gone back to Impact, which is probably good for the company because it's got them a lot of press and stuff like that. But like, who would you have back in Impact to try and make Impact great again?
Free agent.
Considering that everyone else is probably under contract with WWE.
Free
who's
agent.
Good. Yeah.
That's a hard one.
RVD maybe?
Rob Van Dam, that's what I
Unless
I
he's
thought
he
that-
might be in a Legends contract for WWE though.
Is he?
Might be.
I don't think so.
If anybody knows if RVD's in a Legends contract.
He's doing 5-star, isn't he?
Yeah,
So yeah, he must be able to they can't do 5-star and
So he's a free agent, yeah.
So RVD, he's probably got a few matches left in him. I think the problem with RVD is last time he was in TNA he was really badly mismanaged.
Well, wasn't everyone?
Yeah. So unless you're Lashley and they just give you the title for 4 years.
Yeah, Bobby, yeah, you're good, yeah. Have a belt. I don't like Bobby Lashley.
I like him less since he started wearing a headband.
Anyway, so yeah.
What about
all
Alberto?
the credible stars, they end up back at WWE if they were ever. Yeah, I mean, even the Hardys have ended up back there.
Not broken.
Bret Hart, who you thought would never end up back there, ended up back there.
He's the one who makes you think everybody
will
is
end
game.
up back there.
Yeah. What about Alberto though? Didn't he have like a massive falling out or something?
Yeah,
Do you
you
reckon he'd
accuse
go
him of
back there?
racism. Like, if you accuse people of racism, they tend to not want to work with you again.
Yeah.
And like, there's all weird stuff going on with Paige, who's like half his age and stuff.
I think
And Xavier Woods.
and that woman's title belt. And I think even
You actually watched it?
no, have you?
No.
No, it's just I've read about it though.
I've not read that in depth.
Yeah, something about the Divas belt, like. Right.
Yeah, what happened
anyway.
to it?
Paige is a
Nothing.
pretty girl. Paige, I like Paige. I like her. My wife's quite a whitey, like a white, very white.
Yeah, white people. Like really white people.
I like
Seamus.
really white
I was going to
girls.
say, who's whiter, her or Sheamus?
I reckon
Seamus.
Sheamus is the
Nah,
best.
Paige.
Do you reckon?
Because they put white makeup on top of the white.
Do you think she's a vampire? Because she's that white and she's got really dark hair.
Not quite Gangrel, I guess.
That obviously makes her a vampire in my head.
She's
Not
hot.
quite Gangrel.
She's hot.
Right,
That's all I
anyway.
know.
So, yeah, I was just going to say who's left. There's not many left, is there really, to make
No.
Impact great again? And would anybody, with all this palaver, because obviously they've leaked details of Jeff Hardy's contract lately, which is a bit like below the belt, I would have thought. Like, would you ever have anything to do with that company if you were a legend anymore? If they're prepared to underhand tactics like that, would you?
Even though he had his rough patch, where they had to have Sting pin him in 2 minutes because he was off his absolute nut for the main event, he still kind of built the company along with like Angle and people like that, like post the kind of the original TNA people like AJ and that.
Yeah.
So
We
you
just
would
gotta
still
look at
treat him. You never burn that bridge, do you? That's the problem.
We just got to look at the receptions that both sets of people got. Like you just mentioned, Angle and like obviously the Hardy Boys when they sort of came back at WrestleMania, and the crowd erupted. And obviously, Angle's now back as general manager. And when he first stepped out on Monday Night Raw, the crowd, they still sing "You Suck," but we love him.
I just think it's a really underhanded thing that they've done to the Hardys by releasing that Obviously, they've got this big broken gimmick. The Hardys want. They say they've created it. Impact say they own it. I don't know what Jeff Jarrett has to do with it all because
well, him and Vince don't get on.
They don't get on, but he didn't really have anything to do with Impact when the broken gimmick was around. You know, I don't really think there's.
It's like it's TNA's way of shutting down. Like if you had broken Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy, like however they described it, obsolete or whatever. What was the way to describe Jeff Hardy's on it? Anyway, straight away saying you can't have these two potential main eventers because under those two gimmicks, straight in the top of the card.
I would have thought that WWE's creative are clever enough to find a way around this. If they'll have some sort of like backup, they'll not call him broken, they'll call him something like Shattered or something like that. Snapped Hardy.
Snapped Hardy.
Snapped Matt. And there'll be some way around it, surely. If they really wanted to do it, they'd find a way of doing it.
Or they could just shut him down financially eventually and just go like, we've got loads of money.
Yeah.
We'll buy it for loads of money.
I'm going to buy you and the
because think about the potential in terms of merch sales. You can make back how much money you would have to cough up to buy the rights.
But apparently WWE aren't getting involved with this at the minute because they don't want to seem like they're fighting
their
battles for them, which is fair enough because then they'd have to do it for everyone sort of thing.
But they're going to
but I'm thinking actually, but surely Matt Hardy's got a couple of pound behind him. Maybe he could buy it himself.
Maybe he's like spending it all on motorbikes and trailers and like
wrestling rings for the back garden and stuff like that, and fireworks to set off in front of each other.
So maybe he's got no money left for silly reasons.
No, he's got another band on the way. Now he's gonna have to like cut back.
Gotta keep the gas in the electric on.
So that's my wrestle thought. I also had a wrestle thought about Chris Jericho, but I might save it for later.
Cool.
Okay.
Do you want me to save it for later? Do you want us to do it now?
Do it now.
Do you want me to do it now? Yeah. Chris Jericho.
I like the sound of your voice.
Chris Jericho. I like the sound of my okay. Right. Chris Jericho, right? So he's done his little stint, right? Probably the best stint of his career.
Yeah.
He stated that he was actually penciled in to win the World Heavyweight Championship.
When Lesnar and Goldberg shit it all up.
But then they decided to go with Goldberg for whatever reason. It seems he's a bit upset about it because he said that run, if he never wrestled again, he'd be quite happy. Does that mean Vince values people like Goldberg and people like Austin and people, basically is Jericho up there with them, do you think?
He's just like in Vince's head. He's that like shelf below them, which is so sad.
Do you not think that's totally unfair?
Definitely.
Works hard. Always is funny, regardless of what gimmick. Even when he had the serious suit gimmick, I found that quite amusing. Great in ring, like everything. A company man, never slags a company. Like has the band that bleeds in. So Fuzzy, Judas was the theme tune for Takeover. Like there's so many, and he
never ever says anything bad about that company. Even like on his podcast when people are saying sort of like.
Voice of reason.
Yeah, he's never ever got a bad thing to say about the company, which you would have thought. And after his last run, we spoke about it off air and stuff like that. He deserved the title shot. Sure, like a World Heavyweight Championship. One last run would have.
How disappointing was it that Owens and Jericho match at WrestleMania wasn't for the belt?
It should have been.
Should have been for the belt. Like this, it's part of my wrestle thoughts later on, but like. That match didn't need it. Didn't need the belt.
No, didn't.
Whereas you're gonna elevate Owens if he's still got the belt on the biggest show of the world. Like casual fans are gonna see Owens with the belt and think, oh, who's this guy?
I also thought that taking the belt, like that match where Goldberg beat Kevin Owens, like that shouldn't have happened at all. Like you say, the build up for Lesnar and Goldberg didn't need the belt. They had the history to go. Like without needing the belt involved in the match at all, and then they went and took it off Kevin Owens, who is like top boy in the company as far as like I'm concerned. Well, one of them anyway. Without a doubt,
he's like this generation. So like 2010, like sort of 15 onwards is Chris Jericho from our teenage years.
Yeah. But I think he deserves it. I think he deserves it a little bit better. They were my wrestle thought. I hope you enjoyed them.
Did you have a thought there, Jake?
Well, you were just saying Chris Jericho from your teenage, like.
Yes.
Yeah, but not mine.
Not yours. What? So like Kevin Owens isn't your Chris Jericho from my teenage years. Who's yours? Like who's the workhorse? Like for like the whole package.
AJ.
AJ.
Yeah.
AJ's my boy.
I suppose so, but not from like.
Because we have lineage of previous AJ as well. Anyway.
But he's like the last remaining one, isn't he? Chris Jericho was like
the last
man standing back. Because obviously,
yeah.
like Undertaker was coming back once a year and then disappear and then come back, and he was all hyped up for a couple of weeks and then WrestleMania. But Jericho was there week in, week out, doing his thing, being Jericho.
Part-timer.
Yeah, you know. So
and it's not like
thank God for DDP yoga, keeping them going. That's all that.
I was watching AJ doing DDP.
Well, he does it as well, doesn't he?
DDP yoga.
Maybe that's the key. Anyone who's like aging needs to get on the
DDP yoga.
I've caught a cold, but it's okay because I've got DDP yoga.
I've contracted AIDS. It's okay. I'll start doing DDP yoga.
I live throughout this because I do DDP yoga. It doesn't make me have a bad. You've got a bad back, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you've got a bad back.
You're
like 10.
Jake went trampolining yesterday, and he went gravity force.
If Gravity Force heard that, free tickets, please.
I've got bad shoulders as well and a bad neck.
Oh, it's terrible being 10, isn't it?
It's awful. Why don't you do some DDP yoga to sort yourself out? Because DDP yoga, and you can get the free tapes, and you can go on the internet and do DDP yoga. Yeah, man. Nice one.
Right. Jake just went to crack his neck. Just so everyone knows.
Right. Have you ever met a wrestler, Tom?
I haven't actually, no. I'd love to. I mean, there's a number of people I'd love to, but I've never had to.
So if you haven't met a wrestler, who would you like to meet?
Who would I like to meet? Oh, no, is this from all time? As if they were like...
Dead or alive.
Dead or alive. Stuff, who would I love to
because
meet?
you have not met a wrestler, I will not put any limits on
Okay,
you.
cool. Well, I mean, top of the list, I would love to meet, like, from back in the Attitude Era, people like Austin, Undertaker from back then, Mankind, like obviously Mick Foley, but back then I don't think I'd like him as much. Now he went a bit off the rails as a general manager.
Do you think his personality's changed just because he's old?
No, not because he's old. I just think his personality's changed because he's not in ring, and I think he misses it too much personally.
Yeah.
And I think obviously when he was the GM, you could tell that he was sort of missing the Attitude Era because he was trying to make all these mint matches and.
I don't think they thought that through properly.
No.
The whole making Mick Foley general manager.
Yeah.
It didn't seem to work very well.
No, but I mean, I'd like to meet like Austin. You know, he was one of the big guys when I was growing up.
What would you say to him?
You could go.
It's pretty much the noise I would make.
You could apply to go on Steve Austin's Broken Skull Ranch.
That is an amazing TV show. I love that TV show.
And then you could stand there going, "Come on, Tom, you can do it. You're weak, Tom.
Come on, haul ass.
I think you're exactly the kind of guy who would be on it.
You should.
I think you're powerful.
Everyone that goes on that is like a gym instructor. So
yeah, they are. Or they're ex-marine.
I think you'd be good in that one where they're in like a trough in the fight.
Honestly, I played
past each other.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing I was watching. I think the first episode I watched was like probably the first episode, and it was that trench one with the water and had to ring the bell. And I was like, do you know what it is? After playing 3-4 years of American football, doesn't matter how big the other guy is. If I can get lower than him, he's going backwards. It doesn't matter. If I can get underneath and just drive, I'm going.
It's all about
physics.
It is. It's physics.
So,
what put me off about that show? Like they do man show, woman show, woman show, and the woman ones are a bit rubbish.
Yeah, the woman ones are big.
I would just like to say, Dave doesn't speak for everyone on the WrestleFriends podcast. I am not a sexist.
Do you like the women's episodes?
Yes, I like them just as much as the men's. They're equal in every way.
I still watch them. I don't find them as hardcore as the men's ones. The men's ones go hell for leather.
So is it like
diving into each other?
Is it like so? WWE used to have the divas, and now they've got the women's wrestlers who absolutely batter each other, like Asuka kicking people on the head. Is it like they need to be women, not divas?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Have you? But on the Broken Skull Ranch, I've never seen a women's one. Is it more?
Yeah, they're more like I've seen like CrossFit champions.
It's brutal. Even my
rather than
wife,
Asuka kicking someone in the head.
So my wife will watch and she'll even say, "Oh, it's not nice to see women like doing that to each other." And that's coming from my wife. So if you want to argue with us, feel free to get in touch with us on our email, which happens to be the WrestleFriends Podcast at yahoo.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
I've talked to your wife as well, and she's quite a feminist, I think.
She's very partisan.
She pro woman.
Part of the people.
Power of the people.
Power of the people. Like people power, like John Laurinaitis.
What's it called? Remember Power of the People? What was it called again?
John Laurinaitis.
John Laurinaitis.
No, what was that? Laryngitis.
Hi, Laurinaitis.
John Laurinaitis. It's
My name is John Laurinaitis.
Isn't it like? Isn't he now like John Cena's like?
I was talking about
father-in-law?
Yeah, something like that.
I was talking about that.
Or he will be.
Remember Wolfie? That comedy series. No, let's move on.
Just you.
Yeah.
So you've never met a wrestler?
No, but like I'd like to meet people from like the Attitude Era. That's my childhood.
I want to talk.
TV shows.
I want to talk to him.
No. Jake, I'll do it next. Jake, have you ever met a wrestler?
I've met a lot of wrestlers. I've met Drew Gulak from the Cruiserweight Classic. I've met Heidi Lovelace, aka Ruby Riott. I've met the what's she called in the WWE? That princess.
I don't know what she's called.
She's Princess Kimberly.
Yeah.
In Chikara when we saw her, but it's Kimberly Summing or other.
Met her. No, it was, isn't it?
Yeah. I think because they brought like Heidi Lovelace through and had brought Nikki Cross through, they're probably going to keep her on the back burner for a bit.
Well, they've got the.
Well, she'll be in that. Yeah.
I've also met this guy. You know the guy who was thrown off stage by Pete Dunne in the UK Championship tournament?
Sam Gradwell, you have?
Yeah, I've met him. And I've also met Gangrel.
You've also met the guy with his face on his kegs.
He's got his own face
Joseph Connors?
on his keg.
Is that who it is?
Oh,
I don't think it is. Joseph Connors.
The other dude.
Yeah.
Not the dude.
I'm rubbish with the name.
Not Joseph Connors. His name will come to us, so you can continue.
Have you mentioned the big guy we met that night in Wall's End?
You did.
Did you mention Gangrel?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Tom, we met Gangrel. You mentioned him before. Just saying.
Yeah.
We have met him.
We have.
Wow. The Gonzalez Award tonight.
I haven't met Gangrel.
No, you haven't.
Yeah,
well,
you were
would you
scared.
like to? I want to talk to you about the people you've met, because you've met probably more than anyone on the table.
I haven't.
But you have had the chance to meet more people. I would have thought you've been in there, sort of like you've been within like meters of them, and you've chosen not to. Can you explain why you're shit scared to talk to wrestlers?
I think so. If for example, we went. Like Jay was talking, we went to Chikara and there was loads of people, like Gulak had been signed by the WWE, like everyone knew that, so it's like a pretty big deal. And like Jake, very confidently at 10 years old, just wandered around and talked to people. Whereas like I turn into my 10-year-old version of myself whenever I come across a wrestler, and I just like, I can't. Yeah. So the first person I'm going to talk about is Chuck Taylor, who we mentioned last week.
I met Chuck Taylor, didn't I?
Yeah, you met Chuck Taylor as well. I kind of did. So I drank some beers as the show went on, and I thought I need to go and talk Chuck Taylor. I absolutely love him, like one of my favourite indie wrestlers, and I just couldn't. And then as we were leaving the building, I was like, I'm going to go and talk to him. So I ran up to the merch table and I went, how much for a t-shirt? And he said, oh, $20. Did you enjoy the show? And I said, yep. I gave him £20. No, he didn't say $20, he said £20. And I gave him his money and said, thank you, and just ran away.
He literally did run away because me and Jake were standing outside at the time, and we were walking away.
Myself up, I was like, I'm going to go talk.
We were actually walking home at this point, and then Mark sort of like he sort of outside of the venue, and he just stands there and he goes, I'm going back in. And me and Jake were left standing there going, I don't know what he's doing, And then he comes back out with his little rolled up t-shirt, the one he's sporting today. And he just, and he was quite proud of himself, but he bought his Chuck Taylor. I haven't got a tweet of the week from Chuck this week, but I did see a funny one, I just can't remember what it was.
Chuck Taylor's best friends. And I also had the chance to meet Gangrel, Sam Gradwell, and I stood in a doorway while you guys did.
Can we tell the funny story about Gangrel? What he said, or we'll get into trouble with the community of people.
No, because it's something Gangrel said, you're just repeating what he said.
Do you think he knew what he was saying?
I think he probably heard it somewhere and thought it sounded funny, but might not have had the context, or doesn't care either way.
So who did he do it to again?
It was one of the guys who were wrestling in the main event, but I can't remember.
Gangrel's classic.
We saw a show in Whitley Bay.
Wall's End.
Wall's End. Yeah, Wall's End.
And Gangrel, Tom, right, he's talking about Attitude Era wrestlers and they would like to meet an Attitude Era wrestler, right? He's never changed from the Attitude Era.
He actually was bumping pretty well.
He had the same entrance. He still came in with his blood and he still
his goblet and stuff.
and he still sort of like spat blood at the crowd and stuff like that. Brilliant. But then there was a point where he sort of like chucked someone out the ring. Did he throw someone out the ring?
No, it was just an Irish whip in the corner.
So it was an Irish whip in the corner, and I think whoever he'd done it to, I can't remember now, fell over, hit the deck. So Gangrel stands there and he goes, "Get up, you puff."
And I can suppose in a small arena like that you can probably hear everything that's said in the ring anyway, so it wasn't.
Which was classic. That was just, it was brilliant. Classic, get up, you puff. Yeah, you can't say that, Gangrel.
No. Do you know what that means?
It's not often you see a vampire hurling abuse at people like that.
slightly homophobic. But I have actually met a wrestler and managed to speak to him, and I have the proof.
Who was it? You've got proof.
I've got proof.
Audio.
But
He's getting up.
Mark's getting up. So this isn't making good for good radio, so I'm going to commentate on things Mark's doing.
I have meant to tell you before, I forgot. So, I have a signed picture of William Regal.
Wow. This doesn't prove anything.
It does. It proves that.
Audio.
So I live in South Shields, and we have a small theatre called the Westovians. And for some reason, one day it popped up on my Twitter that William Regal was doing a talk there. And if you paid an extra £5, which I didn't pay, I might add, you could go and you could meet him and get a.
So hang on, if you paid the extra £5, you could meet him, but you didn't pay. So how come you still managed to meet him?
Well, so it was like £25 a ticket, just the normal speech, or it was like £30 if you wanted to meet him and stuff. But I paid for the £25 ticket, got early, and then just went in.
Oh,
and they didn't check.
If I was William Regal, I would have leg dropped you.
But he was selling the pictures, the sign, 4 or 5 are there, so I kind of paid. So
what was he like?
He was really kind. He was a really kind man. I think you could sense that I was a bit nervous when I went, because it was like he was on the stage with a desk and like signing and getting up and shaking people's hands. Huge bloke, by the way. Like you don't kind of see how big he is unless like you meet him in person. But so I waited in the queue for ages, and I was like thinking, what am I going to say? What am I going to say to him? And like I got up on the stage, and like I just kind of put my hand out, and no words came out my mouth. And he noticed I had a Fred Perry cardigan on, and he said, "Oh, I like Fred Perry. It's a nice one." He said, and I was like, "How am I going to respond to this?" And I said, $2.99 from the charity shop, and then walked off stage.
Wow, that's the best. I wonder, what he was thinking about you.
You know, we thought,
what a gigantic tool.
This is clearly a 30-year-old man, and he cannot speak to us. But yeah, I mean, like that's a pretty big deal. Like as someone we see every week, like I was like really kind of.
That's a biggie.
I thought I was brave, and I'd had 2 pints beforehand. Yeah. So.
Well, that's going back to sort of like me. If you asked us before, how would I react if I met Stone Cold or the Undertaker, or Kane from whatever, and you just go mind mush.
I think we should try and meet more wrestlers because I think it'll be super fun to talk about it.
Yeah, definitely.
We should meet.
Sting is doing an event in somewhere, Harrogate.
Yes, I saw that. Did I not tag you on?
What would you say to Sting?
I would say
I would ask him about a certain match.
I've been forced to watch this match recently.
No, it wasn't that one actually. It was the one where
he got shared up by Rollins.
No, it was back in the day. It was against the other Vampiro. The set on fire match.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we ended up on top of the Tron and stuff. It was, it started off like a graveyard or something like that.
Infernal match or something.
Yeah. Wow. And Sting or Vampiro was like afraid of fire or some rubbish like that.
I believe it was booked by Vince Russo.
Was it?
They ended up on top of the Tron anyway. And Sting set on fire on top of the Tron, then Vampiro and then he throws him off.
That's an interesting one, Vince Russo, isn't it? Like what?
We've covered quite a lot of this, but Dave, have you met a wrestler before?
Yeah, all the ones you said, basically. You've totally nicked all my stories. I met Gangrel. Did I say anything to Gangrel? I think I went to Jake. I think I sort of like grabbed Jake in a fatherly way by the shoulders and said, "Right, Jake, this is a real legend." Something like that.
Gangrel must have thought you were really cool.
You must have, yeah. And when you walk away and you think, God, I should have asked him so many questions now. Like, I could have asked him about Attitude Era wrestlers. I could have asked him who he worked, who was his friend still. I could have asked so many questions about people like The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
He worked with the Hardys as well, didn't he?
He worked with everyone. He worked with like
Edge and Christian. It was like they worked under him.
Yeah, and he worked.
He was like the veteran.
He was part of the Undertaker's Ministry of Darkness. He was like he worked with everyone in such a short time. I think he was only in WWE for just over a year. And
well, a bit longer than that, I think.
No, I've read it.
No,
it wasn't long.
It wasn't long at all. It was a stretch.
It was a busy year.
It was a busy year for him, and then I think he did make a return at some point. But I can't really. I
think that's my problem as well. Like
I've always got Jake with me though to make conversation with him, so I don't have that social.
Look, I'm not again. I've got a child.
Yeah, look, I'm totally cool, mate. I've just brought my kid to a wrestling event. That's
rather than being the weird 30-year-old one around his pint trying to talk to you. I think that's my problem. Like in my head, when I'm thinking about what I say, everything goes through my head. Like you say, like every little bit of that person's career. So then I just go $2.99 from a charity shop.
that happens to me every week at the start of the show when I've got to do the intro. I start thinking, "Welcome to the WrestleFriends Podcast."
How can I make this sound cool? How can I make this sound cool? And then you don't say anything?
Yeah, that's basically why my intro's crap every week.
It's not, it's right.
Anyway, I think we've touched on pretty much. We've touched on every wrestler we've met.
We've touched them.
We've touched them. Mark's touched them in ways that they may never forget.
It's time for my mystery match. I make people watch matches I like, and then they have thoughts about them.
Beautifully done.
I like that.
I really think it's.
Britain's Got Talent's holding auditions if you want to go on.
I
think it's full of people who are slightly strange and like I think might be paedophiles.
Yeah.
Like the Hoop Man. Did anyone see
I saw that Hoop
Man? I'm worried about his intentions.
You could go on Britain's Got Talent and be one of the like weird ones and stuff. Who's scared to talk to people in real life.
The thieves.
What good? This is really a good feature.
So
let's get Mark to do things. What is your talent? What is Mark's talent? What would you do on Britain's Got Talent?
I don't have any.
I would.
I'd pop a squat on the stage. And
I would
go,
have to
smell that.
I would have to do something like easy, like I would sing badly.
So
Tom would like pump iron. Or
I would lift a rather heavy weight.
You would lift two ladies sat on a tractor.
Yeah. That could be done.
Not by you. Right, so this week's match was Big Van Vader versus Sting at WCW Super Brawl 3, and it was the White Castle of Fear strap match.
Big Van Vader.
Guys, what did you think?
I think Tom should go first because he's guest.
Okay. I enjoyed the match as a whole. I thought it was quite interesting. Some little points that intrigued me, like Vader was seen whipping Sting quite a lot before Sting whipped Vader, yet Vader seemed to burst open quite easily compared to Sting
on his back,
and Sting didn't have anything on his back, and it was above his eyebrows on his forehead that burst open.
I think what happened is that Vader, like Sting probably whipped Vader harder than Vader whipped Sting with the strap.
That's what
I think Sting bladed for his.
I thought that.
His head he must have.
Yeah.
But do you think I think the blood on Vader's back might have been legit?
I thought that was legit.
But I think Sting,
the way that
Sting was probably overdid it.
Yeah.
But I suppose you can whip the heel harder, can't you?
Yeah.
I think he can whip Vader harder because I think he could take. He's a big guy.
I was going to say there's a lot of.
Well, Stan Hansen pulled his eyeball out of the socket.
Just pop it back in, didn't he?
Yeah.
Big guy, do what he wants.
That needs to be a match of the week for the future.
Yeah.
It is an absolute
I've
belt.
never even watched it. Is that the guy with the bell?
Yeah, Stan Hansen, absolute. So he's partially blind, So his whole career, like from being a kid, so like people are really worried to wrestle him because he used to like.
I just heard that ghost that everyone talks about.
He used to throw a lariat, but partially blind. So he used to smash people in the like nose and the teeth and stuff with it. Anyway, we need to watch that match at some point. But anyway, that's what we're talking about.
I enjoyed the match. I thought it was full of things. The ending, like, come back to us for like the end of the match because I had a question about the end of the match.
Oh, cool.
I didn't watch that part.
You didn't watch the end?
I didn't watch the questions.
No, the end of the match. There's just before the bell rings. I've got a question about
Jake.
That bit,
What did you think of the match?
I thought that the match was pap.
Pap.
Yeah.
That's
interesting.
It's nice to have a balanced opinion going on.
I don't really like strap matches. I think they're boring.
You don't like the concept of a strap match?
No.
What is it about the concept of a strap match you don't like?
Just have to touch all four corners. I don't really like it.
Do you think it takes like a little bit of the drama away of the finish?
I know what you're talking about because it isn't as an exciting finish, I don't suppose, watching a man walk around and touching four corners.
No.
It's kind of like that game you play when you're little where the teacher shouts go to green and you've got to run around.
I think it's a very like 70s, 80s, 90s gimmick.
From our really happen that much anymore though, because
there was one last couple of years or something. I can't remember who it was. I'm sure there was one recently within the last couple of years, but I can't remember who it was. But
there's one coming up in Impact with James Storm and EC3.
Strap match.
Yeah.
Cool.
They've been building.
It'll be interesting to compare that to this one from the early 90s.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, do that. You got any more thoughts on the match itself?
I liked it when I saw Vader's man boobs.
Yeah, I like moves.
What was it about Vader's man moves you like? Well, have they been quite nice to Vader because he's dying?
Is he?
Yeah.
He is actually. Yeah.
But you can still talk about his man boobs.
Moves, as we like to call
his
them.
moves.
Just like seeing them jiggle around, getting all red.
Did they look like two googly eyes moving around?
Yep, the nipples look like googly eyes.
Is that your closing thought? Vader's man boobs.
Great.
He's
checking. Now studying his book to remember things that happened during the strap match. Would you like to finish there, Jake, so I can do mine? No?
The only good part of the match was all of the blood.
All the blood. Do
you and the man boobs.
Do you think blood heightens the drama of a match, or do you think it's unnecessary?
The first option.
The first option, so it heightens the drama.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I miss from the Attitude Era.
I think the Yard feud now would really benefit.
We do get accidental blood.
Yeah, you get accidental blood, but that's not the same.
But we got busted clean over.
By Brock Lesnar. That was
brutal.
Did anyone see though Finn versus Samoa Joe at TakeOver where Samoa Joe got busted open?
Yeah,
and he was ready to start flying fists, and he the EMTs kept coming out and that rubbing his face, and you could see him getting annoyed.
Did you, as soon as the first sign of blood now, you notice the officials get their gloves out now and they start sort of like fussing over them, and that does spoil the match, I think.
Whereas you compare
that was great. It was so dramatic when he got busted open in the first second. But he's like, because he's a killer, it like looks visually like stunning. But then,
like whereas you compare like nowadays when you've got the Hell in a Cell matches or the cage matches or whatever, you might get the odd accidental blood, but then you compare it to Armageddon 2000, the 6-man Hell in a Cell, and everyone was completely busted over.
Yeah.
You'd expect to see that with a steel contraption around you.
It's a good way.
I think you've got to get the balance right though.
Of course, it's got to be balanced.
Last week, Mark's match was, you won't have seen it. It was like a death cage match, and
I wasn't allowed to watch it.
And then that was that's because you're too young, and I would be a really bad parent if I let you watch it.
And you weren't here, so it didn't matter.
Basically, this cage was wrapped in barbed wire with glass, and I'm not going too much into it because we talked about it last week.
Yeah.
Listen to the podcast, pal. But the blood in that was just ridiculous from the very start to the very end, and you're thinking, oh man, have some sort of just have some sort of
No, I'm with you on that. I like the balance.
I do the match a bit more. Rather than just bang each other up.
Can I move on to my thoughts about this match?
One final thing.
Yeah.
Do you realise that this match took place 22 years before that match with Rollins that Sting had? How amazing is that?
Wow.
It's a long time.
Until what?
So it was 22 years between this match and Sting's WWE title match with Rollins.
And he had a pretty long career before
So he debuted in '88. So he was a 5-year vet before this match.
I really enjoyed the match. I thought he looked mint in it. He looked really strong. I thought Vader, like the heel. People seem to hate a face now. Like if you're the
archetypal babyface.
If you're the babyface now, you seem to get a lot of heat for it. But I also blame WWE for that because they created Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he was cool heel, but like face, sort of like bad face. It's kind of their own fault, and then they've tried to revert back to a squeaky clean face again, and you're never gonna like that after you've seen what Austin and The Rock did, because they were kind of bad faces, weren't they? They were like anti-hero sort of thing.
But same with Kurt Angle as well, I suppose. Now, like the latter end of his career, was sort of.
Well, Kurt Angle sort of done the whole like drink milk, be good angle, and everyone hated him for it.
Until they found it funny later on, and then he was a face.
Yeah.
But it's like that Sting, like Surfer Sting, it's like how Daniel Bryan was. It's so hard to be like a liked face.
Yeah, I think you notice how excited the crowd get over the most, like just jumping off the top rope.
Yeah.
And just like...
Well, just those two, like in the match, the two splashes that he did.
Yeah, they get like such
one after the other.
The crowd.
And the commentator's like, I think Vader's out. He's like, it's quite clearly not, because Vader's quite easily moving by himself there and he's not out cold. All he's done is given him a couple of splashes.
Yeah.
Which were, quite high splashes. He jumped a canny height up,
He's got a lot of height on stuff, Sting, though. He's very athletic.
Yeah.
And I think it was great back then. I agree with Jake, the finish is always a bit like... cack.
Well, this is what I wanted to come back to, like the whole finish thing, because I'm sure the rules are you've got to touch all four in sequence without being disrupted.
Yeah.
Now, if I count Vader touches 3 and Sting kicks him and he falls into the 4th one and the match is over.
Yeah.
So surely that match shouldn't finish where it finished.
But he touched the 4th one. It's like...
But it's not... No,
it's like in a tables match. If you put yourself through the table...
No, I understand.
It doesn't count.
Does it not? I didn't know that.
You have to physically be put through the table.
Right.
Unless anybody else disagrees with this.
Well, they did have that ending with the Usos where they were still face and the Dudleys were playing the heel, and
do you know what it is?
The match got ended because, and then Bubba Ray said, we haven't put them through the table, so then, but the match had ended.
Finished, yeah.
Do you know what we're overthinking it? Yeah, the answer to your question is because wrestling.
Yeah.
They can decide. Fair enough. They can decide. People, like, WWE change the rules all the time to suit like stuff.
No, I mean, I'm not.
I bet there's been strap match where you got kicked into the corner and it wouldn't count because that week it didn't count.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that, and I think the match couldn't have gone on for too much longer. I think it was running its course by about the sort of 20-minute mark anyway. I just wanted to.
I think it was a good solid main event for its day. Maybe it's ahead of its time in many ways because of the blood and stuff.
I think it would have been better not as a strap match.
Yeah.
These guys, if you've got any time, watch all of the matches from like 92 to like 95 between Sting and Vader. They're all like great.
So have we decided that the strap matches and we're not having them come back?
No, not. It doesn't. 2017.
So there's no one going to watch James Storm versus EC3.
Well, I'm going to watch it to see how it compares to this. I would like to know how people would finish a strap match to make it exciting. And Vader is my favourite big man of all time. I would like to know people's favourite big men of all time. If you'd like to contact us with that kind of information.
You can contact us on email. You can contact us on the WrestleFriends Podcast at yahoo.com. You can go onto Facebook and look for the WrestleFriends Podcast. You can look on Twitter at friends_wrestle and Instagram the WrestleFriends Podcast. Hopefully you'll be able to find us on YouTube and stuff at some point as well.
Sweet.
Also, I was going to ask, because it's dated and stuff like that, are we putting it in the same category as a lumberjack match?
Yeah, I've never got the lumberjack match. Unless there's like really kind of intertwined storylines where the people outside the ring need something
to do
but
with
you have just like I don't know.
I don't get them. I don't get.
Basically, you get chucked out of the ring. Some guys beat you up a bit and then throw you back in. But it's a bit pointless because usually the guys stand outside the ring, but nothing to do with the storyline anyway.
Like an example from today would be like I don't know, like Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens. And then
Kevin Owens spends 20 minutes out of the ring at the beginning.
No, like what I was going to say is like Aiden English outside the ring. He's got no reason to be there. He's got no connection with either of them. It has to be like, for example, you could have had John Cena versus Wade Barrett back in the day with the Nexus outside the ring as a lumberjack match, and then John Cena's got his like face crew. Like that would work.
Yeah.
So there's ways.
I suppose there's like matches though, like I was saying, like the Kevin Owens, like at the beginning of his matches, especially at the major events, he sort of tends to, I know it's like mind games or whatever, he sort of hangs out the ring and then he walks around the ring and the other guy's just going, what's the point? I think he did it with Goldberg before Goldberg destroyed him.
Kids to boo him and for people our age to like laugh.
Yeah.
I think, because I love it when he does stuff like that. I think it's amazing.
You gotta love Kevin Owens.
Everything
Kevin Owens does is like...
KO, man.
He's the face of America.
He is indeed.
So
Tom, you're a guest today.
Yeah.
We do WrestleThoughts.
Yes.
We all think about wrestling. Sometimes it keeps us up at night.
I'm not, since you started this podcast, I've not slept very well, no.
Well, no, we talked about Wrestle Dreams last week. We've all had Wrestle Dreams.
I haven't.
Well, you have, you just don't remember it. But what we do is WrestleThoughts, and I'm going to ask you to sing now, Tom.
Oh dear.
You're going to sing your WrestleThoughts theme.
Oh dear.
Over to you, Tom. Don't at all feel
Way to
uneasy.
put us on the spot and
No pressure, Tom.
Here we go. WrestleThoughts from the guest. It's one of a kind. Here we go. In the crowd, we all like to chant. Yes, yes, yes,
Yes!
See, everyone joined in with his.
That's because we like him more.
Yeah?
I don't want to come in between you guys.
He's our first guest.
First guest needs to chat well.
Exactly.
Right, what have you been thinking about?
It's quite a recent thing actually. I mean, we touched on it before about the whole Divas women division. I'm going to go down the women's route because I don't think they get a lot of talk outside off air and things like that. We're talking about the main events of like WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, that kind of thing. The women, now that they've changed in the last year or whatever it's been from the Divas, you know, they had the first Hell in a Cell match, and now just watching SmackDown this week, the first Money in the Bank
That's exciting
match. That's going to be. I'm looking forward to that.
I think that could potentially steal the show, like the whole thing.
Well, I watched the Hell in a Cell match between Charlotte and Sasha Banks.
Brutal.
And it was brutal, and I think that was probably the best match of the night.
They had to put it on at last.
Of course they did.
Didn't they have an Iron Man match as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they had it.
First ever women's Iron Man match.
They're breaking grounds then, guys.
Yeah, and I mean to see somebody, I think was it Charlotte put Natalia through the announce table.
Yeah.
Like
That's
never happened.
Because I haven't watched SmackDown or anything. Is that recent?
It's literally like this week, I think, that it happened.
It, but I don't know how, because I haven't actually watched. Was it SmackDown?
YouTube it?
I think it was SmackDown this week. I think because it just came on. I check my phone every morning after, and it comes across on the highlights and things like that. Obviously, the whole feud between Charlotte going to SmackDown and Natalia's little crew of the Welcome Committee.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that was a bit sad. And then all of a sudden, it just come to this head-on thing.
Yeah.
Where Natalia's getting put through announce tables, and all of a sudden we've got this big main event coming up with a women's Money in the Bank match.
Is it the main event?
And we're looking for that. I think it has to be, personally.
But are they having like a men's one?
Yeah, they'll always have a men's one.
I think if SmackDown are doing the whole land of opportunity thing, they need to put that as the main event.
Yeah.
They really do.
I do not agree.
You don't agree? Why do you think?
I just don't personally watch women, so
You don't watch women's wrestling?
You did watch the Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, but that's because it was meant to be the best match of the night.
It was.
It was the best match.
But this is potentially going to be the best match of the night.
But I'm going back to like the days when I remember women's wrestling when it was proper divas. I mean, you got like the Stacey Keibler and
fights, I
can't remember the other girl in a bra and panties match. It was. No, it was someone else. I think Stacey had just won the Thong Award or something like that. Tori, that was it. Stacey and Tori going at it because I think Tori had won the Golden Thong Award, which was a bit stupid. And then all of a sudden, Stacey Keibler didn't like it to the Hella Bra and Panties match, which Tori won. And then because she didn't get. Basically, in the Bra and Panties match, the winner of the match is the person who can take off the top and trousers of the other girl, leaving them in bra and panties.
So you've never really experienced what we experienced as teenagers, like the awful, like sexist treatment of
It was.
women.
I mean, Jerry the King Lawler.
They had an edict at the time that the women couldn't use closed hand punches in their matches because it wasn't feminine. And now you've got Asuka kicking people in the head.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the way it should be.
I want Roman Reigns versus Vince McMahon in a bra and panties match.
I wouldn't want to see that.
I wouldn't. It wouldn't be a wrong, it would just be a duds match, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would just be Vince McMahon, like licking his butt.
But like we're going back to that whole thing of, you know, your bra and panties match and your pillow fights and the bikini contest with Jerry Lawler getting all excited because he's an older man looking at these 20-odd-year-old women in nothing. And then now you say like
he's married to a 20-odd-year-old.
Well, yeah, there you go.
It's a weird way to treat it.
But then you've got like, you know, nowadays when you've got the Hell in a Cell match between Charlotte and Sasha and the Money in the Bank match coming up, but then like the up and coming women, like we've mentioned a few, like Asuka and Nikki Cross and Ruby Riott, and you know them all coming through, and it's just a completely different age, and it's exciting to see that now being level. I think that comes from like the Glamazon sort of kick-started that a little. I mean, you had Chyna back in the day, but she was on her own.
It would be classed as Beth now.
Yeah, like if you had Chyna and
like what
Beth in their prime now, would be an amazing fit.
Yeah, that would be.
Jake talked about before when he met Ruby Riott and we met Kimberly. At the time, they were wrestling men.
Yeah,
they were actually wrestling men.
Both of them did, yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
their own.
it's like setbacks to like, you know, when Chyna was wrestling like Jericho and Val Venus. I think she had a few fights with as well. Yeah.
Princess Kimberly was the actual like proper champ.
She was the Chikara Grand
Champion, wasn't she? So
it should get to a point where like it's announced that it's the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, and it's like, well, we don't even think it's like different. It's like in everyday life, like my wife's the higher wage earner in our house and stuff like that. Yeah. Like it's not, people don't bat an eyelid about stuff like that nowadays. And like wrestling needs to kind of catch up. Yeah. Like you need to see Sasha Banks and Charlotte absolutely batter each other and not think anything of it.
Yeah. And also with that, like the whole I can't remember her name now. Alexa Bliss and the whole Bayley feud going on with the kendo sticks. You know. That's something that's relatively coming new.
So how do you get over that thing, like, as a heterosexual male watching wrestling, like, when Alexa wrestles, I think, ooh, like,
I
like her bottom.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I get you.
You know what I mean? And like, there's always going to be that because there are women at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But you can be feminine and kick the absolute piss out of someone.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm still one of them doofy guys who kind of goes for a lager when the women are on. Like,
no, I mean,
I use this time to have a like sandwich break.
I have watched the network, you know, for the past few like the main events, and you see the women's match coming up, and you just go, right, this is either a toilet break or because I'm on the network, I can fast forward.
It's too easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it depends how important it is. Like Asuka versus Nikki Cross versus Ruby Riott on TakeOver.
That was cool.
That was like,
I enjoyed that.
I don't never sit for anything like that. Go to the toilet for anything like that.
I enjoyed that match. Maybe it's the same with the Hell in a Cell match. You knew it was going to be a big deal, the Hell in a Cell match, so we watched it. I'll watch the ladder match.
Like in Ember Moon's twist and stunner from the top rope.
Yeah, that's cool.
Amazing.
Did we even watch that?
No, we didn't watch.
I think we had a sandwich break. That's what we did.
Tom, I very much enjoyed your WrestleThoughts.
They were good thoughts.
Well, just something I thought about the other day.
We're there, we're interrupting. Have you got any more thoughts?
Sorry.
No, I mean, I just seen this one this morning. Actually, I don't want to talk about it for too long because I don't know how much truth is in it or what have you. I have seen rumours of a WWE theme park.
Wow.
Well,
and what do you do?
The crap
out of each other?
I literally just saw it this morning, so I haven't had too much chance to read up on it. But there is apparently, don't know how much truth, like I say, plans in the work to have a wrestle theme park, WWE theme park, and you can have the big screen TVs. There might be some, mats where you can have a try. I don't know. Like,
do you remember when
school?
If that's true, take my money, please.
Do you remember that time when they opened a bar in New York? And
lost loads of money.
Yeah, do you not reckon this could be going down that same route?
This theme park gives me an opportunity to hit you with kendo sticks.
It does, yeah, but they're not real kendo sticks, They're probably like.
Uh-huh.
And I have a final thought now that you just brought that whole kendo stick up as well. ladders, for years, I always thought they were proper metal and stuff. Are they made of wood?
I think the last one was wood, wasn't it?
If you watched,
because I watched the Takeover one, and I was like, that's not.
When he suplexed Razor through the light, it was like sawdust. It
was wood.
I think it's like very thin metal with sawdust in, or metal wood.
It'll be like that sort of like chipboard stuff, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's really strong enough that you can climb it.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't take anything away from the magic of a ladders match.
Unless they
like
just know which ones
it for the first time.
They know which ones to pull out to use for throwing people through, and they know which ones to pull out to climb up.
Yeah.
You know
what I mean?
If I went out to B&Q and bashed someone with a ladder from there, like they'd be messed up every time.
Yeah.
Do they know how to land on them? They know how to hit people with them?
Well, it's like, what's it? DIY, I can't remember which one it is. The one that got the ladder to the face at Takeover. I mean, that's gonna hurt either way, but
wasn't that just heartbreaking?
It was.
Oh my god. Why, Tommaso? Why?
DIY.
Right, are we done?
Yeah, that's my thoughts.
Thank you, Tom. That was amazing.
Brilliant. So, Tom, every week, Jake does a quiz.
If he's not ill in bed, like a little girl.
Yeah.
Well, that was very sexist.
You're the one who made us stay off.
You were the one that was ill.
You're the one who made us stay off.
Right. It's time for Jake's WrestleQuiz.
WrestleQuiz. I'm gonna do a WrestleQuiz. Woohoo!
Cool.
Like it's good. It was nice.
Very high pitched. There's dogs all over the world now. What? Right. Come on then. Quiz. Has anyone got a pen? I have.
So, if we're keeping score, last time we did this, I believe I came out on top.
Yep.
So it's 1-0 to me.
So at the end of the year, we should have who gets the most points.
Well, I think we should put it out to the potential listeners. So we what we'd like to know is when we should stop and what the loser should have to do as a forfeit for losing.
If you want to get in touch with some suggestions, feel free to contact us at the WrestleFriends Podcast at yahoo.com. Check us out on Facebook and the WrestleFriends Podcast, and on Twitter at WrestleFriends_Wrestle. I said that all wrong. I'm going to give up while I'm ahead.
I don't think Tom should get a play.
Why?
Because we're doing this, and we need to keep score for this Clash of the Titans.
I think it's harsh to have a guest in and then not let them play.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I can play and not keep my own score and whatever I get.
This makes it non-involved. So then we only need 1 week.
Well, how about when we have guests in, we don't count them towards our final.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't have a guest in and not let them
Tom
play.
can play. I'm not happy about it, but Tom can play.
Mark's in a huff. Why don't you twiddle with your knobs?
Right,
I don't know how to do the knobs.
Mark's microphone is wrapped in cellophane.
So these were meant to be last week's questions, but obviously I wasn't here last week.
Jake had a virus.
Sorry.
You really did?
Yes, I did.
Right,
I didn't point that out. So, how many matches has Bobby Roode lost in NXT?
One.
I buzzed.
I forgot about the buzzing. Go on now.
I wasn't told about the buzzing.
Oh, yeah.
That's hesitation.
One.
What do you think?
You copy.
Sorry, who was it again?
I said one first, but I didn't buzz.
I'm gonna ask every single person what they think.
Okay.
What do you think?
So how many matches has Bobby Roode lost?
Yeah.
In
NXT.
I think I'm gonna go a little bit higher than your guess. I'm gonna go about 3.
How many do you think?
I said 1 to begin with, and then Dave copied, but he had buzzed.
It's the rules of the game, man. You gotta be
right. So David gets a point.
Yay!
He lost the tag. He lost in the tag competition, didn't he?
Yeah.
When he bailed on Ty Dillinger.
Yeah.
You didn't really need to count that one though, because
you don't need to drop F-bombs on the podcast.
Singles competition.
That's you're not
right. Come on,
Mojo. Right. Who was the
2? I'm gonna do that.
Who was the number 1 entrant in the 1992 Royal Rumble match? What?
You can't repeat the question, please.
Rick Steiner.
I'll read the question again. Who was the number 1 entrant in the 1992 Royal Rumble match? So who did you say?
Rick Steiner.
Who do you think?
I'm going to go with Bret Hart.
Who do you think?
Sergeant Slaughter?
None of you were right. It was British Bulldog.
Oh! I'm still winning.
I know.
Number 3.
3. Is that annoying anyone yet?
No, I like
No,
it.
I quite like it.
I wish Jim Bone was here.
That could have been my
Is he still
prize.
alive?
You could have got one of
I
them
don't
little
know.
bulls, you know them bulls you got off
It's not really connected to wrestling, is it?
Right.
Well, Brahma Bull.
I don't know how to pronounce the answer of this one, so
Maybe choose questions in future.
Do
that you can
a
read.
garble version and I'll see if I can get it.
okay. Right. Who did Kurt Angle beat at the Survivor Series 1999? And you can't buzz in just.
Who did he beat at Survivor Series 1999?
And you can't buzz in just because you want to get the answer first.
Well, I buzzed in with me guess, which was Rick Steiner.
Yeah.
Triple H.
Who do you think?
I'm regretting it because they were both heels.
You can't regret it.
1999, I'm trying to think who was still wrestling back then.
That's why Triple H came in at me.
Yeah,
But like, heel on heel wouldn't work with it.
Can I have a guess?
Yeah,
Shane
I'd say your
Shane
guess.
McMahon?
Who do you think?
I'm going to go
That's
with...
Yeah. That was King of the Ring, wasn't it?
I don't know, I'll go with Stone Cold. I can't think of anyone
None of
else.
you were right. Right, I can't pronounce the name, so I'm just going to say none of you were right.
No, but
No, we
no,
need
try.
the answer.
Try.
Scene Slasiak. You can't read my writing, it's very
I will.
messy.
I'll tell you.
No, because
Just
it's
don't
got the
show me
other
answers.
Alright,
answers
try it again.
as well. Scene
CN.
Yeah, SEAN.
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 Yeah.
Oh, is that how you spell Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean who?
Oh,
Stasiak.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Stasiak.
didn't put the line in the T.
I don't
That's fine.
remember who that is.
Sean
Oh.
Stasiak.
Oh.
He was just a jobber.
Oh, okay.
And he got a match on a pay-per-view.
He must have been Kurt Angle like a squash.
What was the first?
It was like the Zack Ryder.
You got that wrong.
And 4.
So is that just one a day?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
He's in Dortmund.
What was the first match on the first episode of Raw in January 1993?
First match.
Yeah,
First
on the,
match.
The first I've watched.
I watched this the other week as well.
Was
That was horrible.
Was it Yokozuna versus The Undertaker?
What do you think?
I think the Undertaker might have been involved, like.
I think it's Undertaker.
Razor Ramon 1 2 3 kid.
I can't think of an opponent. I'm going to say Undertaker was involved.
Razor Ramon versus the 1 2 3 kid.
Right, so are you just not gonna answer?
It's a tricky one.
It is.
Yeah.
I think the Undertaker's involved, but I can't think of.
I hope people are playing along at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Undertaker's involved, but I can't think who against.
Right, so shall I just end it now?
Give us the
Yeah.
answer.
I'll tell you.
Switch the machine.
It was
Mark, switch
It was Coco Beware versus Yokozuna.
I
Nearly.
got you, nearly.
Yeah.
Can I have half a point for that?
No,
No.
you don't get half
Tough.
points.
We make our own rules here.
Yeah,
Don't think that half
it's
a
my
point is
quiz. It's
necessary,
my quiz.
considering-
You
I
don't
know
make
how
the
he's
rules.
right. It is his quiz.
It's
The
just his
impossibility of that question, and I got half of it right.
It is his quiz.
Alright, fine.
My quiz. What WrestleMania was it? When,
And 5.
you always do that when I'm reading the question out.
Sorry.
What WrestleMania was it when Motorhead performed Triple H's entrance and Triple H lost to Undertaker?
Ooh.
What WrestleMania?
Wait, what number?
What? What do you?
2000 and...
No,
what
what
number?
What WrestleMania?
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. I'm gonna go with WrestleMania.
Yes, buzz in.
Ding dong. Because I want to be different. Mine's a doorbell.
Mark's is going to be the chicken.
So ding dong. I'm gonna go with WrestleMania
WrestleMania.
22.
Right, what do you think then?
What do now?
What WrestleMania was it when Motorhead?
No, what WrestleMania
Oh.
are we up to now? Is it 33? Why are
Yeah,
you shrugging your shoulders? You know which WrestleMania
Yeah.
it's been? 33?
yeah, WrestleMania
34 is the
33.
next one, isn't
I
it?
can't read
Yeah.
Roman numerals.
So I'm going to go for about 10 years ago, so maybe, what did you say?
That's a 22.
I'm going to go with 23.
What do you
WrestleMania
think?
18.
So close. It WrestleMania 17.
Ooh.
Piss lord.
And David only got 1 point in.
Is that the end of the quiz?
Yeah.
And I won.
Yeah.
And did I say it didn't count because Tom was here?
Because Tom didn't get one right, we can make it count, so we're now even Steven.
So does that make it 1-1?
1-1.
Yes, it's getting exciting. Yes, it is.
Those are some tricky questions.
Those are some tricky questions. I've got to say,
Tough ones.
that quiz is definitely a good feature.
Definitely. I like that. That was
Right.
good.
So
I picked
Jake,
that one.
Jake,
we're
you're a
gonna
busy
go.
boy because it's, yeah.
Jake, it's your WrestleThoughts.
Oh.
Theme, please.
I'm gonna talk about my WrestlePoets.
That's the same as you love.
WrestlePoets. The WrestlePoets. I'm gonna talk about my WrestlePoets on the WrestleFriends Podcast.
I like it.
Similar to your other theme.
The dogs are going to be banging down the door soon.
I like that little thing you did with your voice when you went.
You didn't make a Jackson from South Park. Blanket. Well, what are you thinking?
I've been thinking about AJ.
AJ. You love AJ.
Yeah, AJ's my boy.
He's your boy. What have you been thinking about AJ?
He might be starting to drop a little bit because
Yeah.
he's starting to lose to a lot of people on SmackDown.
Yeah.
He lost to Kevin Owens for the US title, which was my prediction was for AJ to win the US title.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He lost to Jinder Mahal the week before Backlash, and now he's lost to Dolph.
Was he protected in those losses, or were they like clean?
It was clean on Kevin Owens, clean on Dolph, but not clean on Jinder.
Didn't so his leg got caught in the announce table against Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit screwy, but still, like you say, Kevin Owens outsmarted him. Made him look like a stupid face.
I haven't seen SmackDown this week, so I don't know that. I didn't know that Dolph had beat him.
So what happened in the
Don't know
Dolph
the
match?
circumstances.
I just read the comments and Dolph Ziggler had beat AJ.
Right.
I don't watch all the videos. I just skip to the
I
end.
hope they're not gonna try the losing streak gimmick, because that never works.
I think. Do you not think they're doing this because obviously these new people have just came to SmackDown? They obviously try and give Jinder the massive push of a lifetime.
Oh, definitely.
Like giving Kevin Owens the push as the US face of America. AJ Styles is one hell of a workhorse, and maybe they're just using him as the veteran, as the guy who will bump forever. I think they've sort of done this with Roman Reigns a bit. They had a bit of a losing streak and then they put the belt on him straight afterwards. Maybe it's what angling towards.
Like trying to throw off the set.
Yeah, maybe it's once Jinder's done with Randy Orton, it might be AJ that gets the belt. I've heard, although, that Jinder might hold on to that belt for a year. Yeah. Can you imagine? That is 1 year's worth of watching them stupid Bollywood boys walking around with
He's a big man though, isn't he?
He's huge.
You didn't like his first run because he was booked as a joke. You didn't realise like how big he is.
Yeah.
Have you
What was
seen
it
what
was-
he eats? His diet and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
it's
He
ridiculous.
drinks like 2 gallons of water a day.
Does he?
Yeah.
Two
Jinder
gallons
Mahal.
of water.
Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal, 2 gallons of water. Seriously, I would live in the toilet if I was drinking 2 gallons of water a day. But his meals are all prepped for. You could never in real life, unless you're like rich, look like that because he gets all his meals prepped and separate.
Well, that's like
This is another
Sheamus
thing
is
as well.
another one. He gets all his meals.
This is another thing. It's good having you here, Tom. Do you think Jinder has gained his physique naturally? Is that possible?
Is he on steroids?
No, I think no. It is if he's never out the gym.
He claims to never have a treat day.
This is the thing. He claims to never have a
Because he
cheat
gave up
day.
drinking as well, didn't he?
Yeah. So like, if he's not drinking alcohol and things like that, that's fine because that's not going to put horrible calories into him. If he's eating all the right stuff and if he's eating like a lot of protein, a lot of red meat and that kind of stuff, like you say, he gets his meals prepared, sort of things for him. And if he's on legal supplements, you know, like protein powders, creatine powders, and all that kind of stuff, it is possible with a lot of hard work. The only thing I have a problem with is, I know they go and visit different gyms on the way around because obviously they don't have their own. Well, they might have their own gym back at their hometown, but they can go and rock up wherever.
That's like the first thing, isn't it? Like,
But
where's
the
the gym?
thing is, they're on the road a lot. and he's got to have to find time
It is
every
possible,
single.
though.
Oh, it's possible, but he's going to have to find time every single day, and within those days, he's then got to have rest days. He's performing on a what's he on SmackDown? So Tuesday night.
What's it called when you do exercises but there's no weights involved? You just use your body.
Just bodyweight exercises.
Yeah, it's got a proper name. But anyway.
I just call them bodyweight exercises.
So like you could do that backstage. You could like, do pull-ups.
I mean, you can do pull-ups.
You could do tri-dips and stuff.
Tri-dips. I mean, you can. There are loads of different things you can do, but.
Why?
I mean, you're with leg press and stuff like
exactly. This is what I'm saying. Like a squat, anyone can squat body weight. That's fine. The size of his legs, to be able to obviously hold up his upper body, which is massive, he's got to be squatting easy 150k for 10 to 12 reps at a time because his legs are massive. Yeah, and I say for 10 to 12, he's probably only be doing reps of about 5 to 6 for strength anyway. So I mean, you're talking at least 150 as a warm-up set because his legs are massive.
Mm-hmm.
John Cena's the same. He can probably squat 200k easy.
I think it was a mistake asking Tom about exercise.
Because I find it quite interesting actually, but like drinking 2 gallons of water a day I think is an impossibility as a person.
It's excessive.
What does it do for you? Why would the human body, surely you could drown?
So yeah, no, you're right, you can actually, and I'm fairly sure I read this,
you can drown yourself.
You could not drown yourself but get like water poisoning through drinking far
what
too
would
much
it do
water.
for your body though? Because obviously
it flushes the system,
but like
it seems
what's
hydrated.
it doing for the body?
Well, if, for example, you wake up in the morning, the first thing you should technically do is drink a glass of water within half an hour of waking up because it boosts your metabolism, kickstarts your body basically.
Yeah.
So it's not just keeping yourself hydrated, it's actually flushing out the systems, it's keeping your metabolism going at a high rate. So obviously then you drink sugar drinks and it brings the metabolism down.
Is that where Monster Energy drinks come in?
Monster Energy drinks are amazing, just to put that out there.
Mark.
Tom would like to be sponsored by Monster Energy drink.
It has been known that I drink at least 2 a day.
What we've done is we've taken this WrestleThoughts away from Jake a little bit and we should put it back into his hands.
Definitely.
Here we go. Back over to you, boing flip.
Have you got any more AJ thoughts or any thoughts in general?
Well, it isn't about AJ, it's about the Hardy Boys.
I like this topic.
So on Raw, well, this was going to be my WrestleThought for last week, but obviously I wasn't here, so
it's fine.
I'm getting 2.
Cool. I'm going to have about 8.
It was Matt Hardy versus Sheamus, and it was in a Tuesday stipulation match, and Matt Hardy chose a steel cage. But I didn't actually get to find out why he chose a steel cage and not a ladder match.
I agree with you on that one because I saw that. I wondered when I saw the steel cage, the stipulation, the same as you. You're a Hardy boy. You're well known for your ladders, tables, chairs matches. Why haven't you gone with that rather than being caged in with 2 big blokes like Sheamus and Cesaro?
You can jump off the cage.
There was a reason for it, but I don't know what it is. If anyone does know, feel free to get in touch. But because I saw it when I was reading stories on the internet and I just flicked through the story, there is a reason for it, but I don't know what it is.
Oh well.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
But you would think they would pick a ladder match,
yeah.
Right? Good WrestleThoughts, Jake.
Killer thoughts, man.
So
the WrestleThoughts of Jake. Listen in, man.
Nice.
Very nice, I like it.
It's time for my WrestleThoughts. I'm gonna push them in your face. WrestleThoughts bouncing here and there and everywhere. Na 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 na. We are the WrestleFriends.
Nice.
Like
They are WrestleThoughts.
So I'm
hold on for a good hour's worth of WrestleThoughts, Tom. Settle in for the ride.
Yep.
Right, I think I've shortened it from the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
I can't help it. I have so many WrestleThoughts.
I know. Keep you up at night.
What is the point in Lesnar having the belt?
There is no point.
There is no point.
He's been off television for weeks. They don't have that prestigious prop to build someone else up weekly on television. He doesn't need to be built up. Whether he loses 5 matches in a row, whether he wins 5 matches in a row, he's still going to be a killer, he's still going to be believable, he's still going to be at the top of your card, you're still paying him the most money. Imagine those 5 guys in the number 1 contenders match, if they'd had the belt on television, passing it between each other. Imagine Joe with the belt going into that match. You've got a star straight away.
But the thing is that, do you not reckon that they've now got Finn Balor back, they've warmed him up with a few matches, they're going to push him to win the 5-way, to go on to face Brock Lesnar and
lose.
Beat Brock Lesnar. To
He's
get back the title that he had to relinquish, obviously, with injury.
No, because I've thought about it loads, and like Brock Lesnar is not going to put any of those 5 wrestlers, apart from maybe Roman, over clean. He's not going to put Joe over clean. He's not going to put Finn over clean. He's not going to put Seth over clean. He's not going to put Bray over clean.
I don't think he's going to drop the belt. I think he's going to keep hold of the belt, and
it's so dumb.
It's annoying, it really is. But like, this is that.
It doesn't give him anything.
This is that thing though. This WrestleMania thing that they've got, where they bring all these old people back, and the young guys don't get a chance. You're never going to have another sort of Attitude Era or something like that. How many like legends did they used to bring back in the Attitude Era? Like, maybe the real Hollywood Hogan now and again, but like,
oh, the odd surprise at like the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but like they had big stars then off their own back, you know what I mean? And they need to start building people up like Seth Rollins. And
on the other side of the coin, the belt on SmackDown is being used superbly.
Yes.
Take a guy, put a belt on him, unknown, put a rocket on his back. He's got that belt to give him like legitimacy.
Yeah.
That's the way you do it. Like Joe, new guy, give him the belt. Seth, I think he needs to be re-established from his long injury layoff. Give him the belt. Finn coming back. Like, you could wait, have it on one of the other guys, and then play the long game with him, the babyface long game. He's over. Bray, you could always give him the belt, but once again, I think in a way he doesn't.
Bray Wyatt's kind of like the
Roman
Undertaker character, where the Undertaker never had the belt for like long periods of time. Bray Wyatt's going to be one of them guys. I think he's got the whole scary monster gimmick going on, and
Roman doesn't need it.
So well, Roman doesn't really need it at the minute, but I mean, eventually they're gonna.
You're looking at Joe, Finn, and Seth out of those.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll put it back on Finn.
I
think
and then he can play the long game after him.
They should do something with Finn, sort of like
Daniel Bryan.
Like do something like that.
I think that what they're going to do is they're going to put the belt on Finn, but Paul Heyman's going to turn on Brock Lesnar, because he was talking about how good Finn Balor was and stuff.
He came out and like
we have thought about this.
Do you not think it's too early? Do you not think it's too early to turn Finn heel, or would you do it like as a shock and then give him the club with Paul Heyman?
That's an interesting one. I think there's got to be some reason behind that promo.
Yeah, it was a good promo.
It was a good promo, and Finn Balor's not the strongest on the microphone. Having Paul Heyman around would be superb for him.
Yeah,
being the Paul Heyman guy.
He could just put his collar up and look at
sort of like CM Punk was. It worked for CM Punk. I think it would be a good move, but I think you're right. He'd need his henchmen in there as well. Get the boys back. And just run riot over Paul Heyman getting the club together, and him spouting off about it all every now and again. It'd be all the time. Would be mint.
Just a side note on Finn though, coming up with obviously the Fatal 5-way. Which Finn's turning up?
Oh, Demon at the Big Show. Always a Demon.
Yeah.
That's why it's so good that they've got the Demon. Like they don't like bring it out at the big shows. It's like he's like a marketing dream, isn't he?
Do you think the Demon will work heel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have like angry Demon.
I don't know if I don't know.
And you couldn't have backjump a Demon though, could you?
I don't know what Finn would get as a heel, because like his entrance and everything isn't going to work, because he ain't going to play out the crowd and do the whole.
You could do the black smoke, leather jacket, collar.
Just refusing to do the arms.
And don't do the arms and scowl at people. Like his original entrance without the arms could work as heel.
Yeah.
So that's my first wrestle thought. I also this week watched NXT. I don't like the new theme song compared to the old one.
No.
Who's?
NXT's.
NXT.
I would like the old theme song back, please.
Yeah.
I would like the old belt back. Don't you think all the belts look the same?
They're all similar.
The tag belts are really nice.
Yeah.
But the
tag
other
belts
two
are nice, but
I like the big the big cross on the original NXT belt. It's like it became iconic. I thought.
Why did they didn't need to get rid of that belt, did they?
No.
Classic.
They only
NXT
need to get
belt.
rid of like the women's belt.
New women's belt would have done, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the matches on NXT this week from the 24th of May were recorded before Takeover. So it was kind of like a pre-show for Takeover NXT this week. There was loads of Takeover recap on the show, which really annoyed us, but I understood it. First match, Aleister Black squashed Kurt Hawkins. It was interesting seeing Kurt Hawkins on NXT.
That was weird. I thought that was strange.
I think with Aleister Black, we need a feud now.
Yeah.
The squashes are meant. It's nice seeing a Black Mass kick people in the head, but I'd like a feud. I'm not sure who we would feud with, but
Drew McIntyre.
Have to turn one heel.
And one has to lose as well.
Turn Drew McIntyre heel. Let him be NXT champion.
He's a bit of a tweener at the minute. Like he's not a heel or a
Drew
face. is he?
McIntyre would make a good heel, but I think you need a lesser sort of character for to put Aleister Black over, because Drew's just came as well, so you need to have him doing his thing. And Aleister's just came, so you need to have him
he's
doing
quite
his
liked,
thing.
isn't he, Drew? Now that he's come back.
This bleeds into my next one. Let your curiosity explode.
Yes.
It was the debut of the Velveteen Dream.
Yes, it was.
But
it wasn't, because he's already wrestled.
So,
yeah, it's Patrick Clark.
but the character of the Velveteen Dream was just Patrick Clark before, wasn't he?
Do you like the Velvet Dream?
Oh, I love him. But you know me, I love a
Screw
gimmick.
you.
Like I like to get. So for me, like wrestling is you like have your great matches and you have your serious characters like Kevin Owens and whatnot, who have everything. But then I love like No Way Jose. I love like the Velveteen Dream.
Breezango.
Yeah, like I like Breezango. Yeah. So like it's just part of like wrestling.
Yeah.
So I love the Velveteen Dream. He wrestled Ego Rob Anthony, who is a great indie guy who's wrestled for Combat Zone Wrestling amongst other organisations. I hope that WWE are looking at him because he's really good.
No, he's a bit pap.
He's a bit pap. Well, you didn't really get to see much of him in that match, did you? Egotistico, Fantastico. He used to wrestle under a mask, so they're going to pop the mask on him. But yeah, that would be interesting if they were looking at him. I really like the Velveteen Dream gimmick. Like, why not have a wrestling like Prince rip-off?
He looks like Prince. He does. I like that. I do like that.
It's like
he's got the whole purple rain thing
like
going
Prince
on.
is like 5 foot and like with squeaky voice. Patrick Clark's like 6'5", ripped, like athletic, like hard hitting. I thought he was quite aggressive. Like I quite like that. His top row finisher was he dived like halfway across the ring for an elbow drop.
He did,
really like that.
Yeah.
Showed
quite a lot.
So yeah, the Velveteen Dream. I mean, I'm loving it.
I'm not.
Yeah, I think you're like old before your time. Like you should be liking gimmicks. Is it just because it's a bit like
it's because I say
androgynous
things and he listens because I'm father.
Yeah.
So you don't like the Velveteen Dream?
Yep.
I don't mind him. I don't dislike him. Have you got any more WrestleThoughts?
I've got one more. The next match was McIntyre versus Wesley Blake.
Yeah.
I think McIntyre's an absolute beast. I think he looks a lot bigger than he did on his original run. He's obviously being
huge.
He's obviously being the gym.
He's stacked.
I think it was the gender effect where you didn't notice how big he was because he wasn't booked.
Yeah.
But like when you look at him now, he's like, my lord. Like he's about the same size as Jinder, like 6'5".
Yeah, he's a tall bloke as well.
270,
big Irish Scotsman.
Yeah.
Jake, do you have a thought?
I think that Drew McIntyre should win the NXT Championship and Heath Slater should win the Universal Championship.
You think Heath Slater should?
Yeah, 3MB taking over, baby.
Wow.
Interesting thought.
Interesting thought. I think the Drew one would work. I'd have to do a lot of work with Heath Slater.
I think they might have to put him back in developmental for development. Easy for me to say. I'm struggling to do.
His time away from WWE, he's done him a world of good.
Yeah.
He's now got main event feel. He's completely like the comedy stuff. Everyone's forgotten about it. You can see him feuding with Rude, becoming champ. And then I think he's got great main roster potential.
Yep, as long as he doesn't get lost in the
shuffle.
Lost in the shuffle.
It has to be the right time though. It was the right time for Joe. It was the right time for Finn.
Was it the right time for Nakamura? Because I think they're giving him I don't think that's working very well.
I think you're right.
I think they're giving him too much time on the microphone, which they didn't used to do in NXT.
Yeah.
Shinsuke.
Oh, Shinsuke. Nakamura.
But you can call me Mr. Money in the Bank.
So Dave's was good. Yours was.
Dave sounded like a young James Bond.
Yeah. It was a young Roger Moore crossed with a Filipino, possibly.
The thing I didn't like with Shinsuke. The thing I didn't like with Shinsuke.
I am Japan.
Was like they brought him in on the shuffle, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you know, here he is, he's here, and all this." And then they waited about. Obviously, I know what the NXT recordings and whatever, they had to wait for the thingy, but he just kept popping up and not doing anything.
Yeah,
and then he didn't have a big enough name to have that kind of build up.
No, they built it up, and what they used to do in NXT, like they built them up, and they made a big deal with his entrance. They always had like violin player and stuff like that, and then they built him up so much, and then they put him in with Dolph Ziggler, and then they didn't really do much with his entrance and stuff like that, and like they used to nail.
Yeah, they should have done an Aleister Black on SmackDown. So have him kill Kurt Hawkins in 2 seconds. Have him kill Zack Ryder in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Whoever's around, have him kill Aiden English in 2 seconds.
Zack Ryder deserves a bit more.
Yeah, you're probably right. Aiden English then. Kill Aiden English.
Aiden English. I really like the bodybuilder.
Got a singing gimmick.
Kill Aiden English in 2 minutes.
Have
him do that for 3 or 4 months, and then rather than building up that match with Dolph, which was a bit of a damn squib, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I think they really need to stop letting him. I think they need to just let his in-ring work do the talking, which sounds cheesy, but
which I think at times, as much as I love him, can be lazy.
I've also got
I think he's lazy in ring at times.
I don't like how they are calling Shinsuke Nakamura the artist and not the King of Strong Style.
Is that what they're calling him?
The artist known as Shinsuke. It's rubbish. It's rubbish. They're going to ruin him. He'll be coming out with a Japanese flag next and sticking in the corner.
I am Shinsuke. I am from Osaka.
He'll be walking out with the Funaki and
Funaki. They'll change his music. They'll have like a flag match with somebody very American.
If I was Shinsuke and that was happening to us, I'd be off to Japan.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people who have said that about.
So you see, my WrestleThoughts this week, condensed.
Very nice.
Condensed more than usual and straight to the point.
Do you think they should be condensed further?
No, that was fine. I done 2, Jake done 2, you done 3. Maybe you should knock one off.
Yeah.
Oh no, I did 3.
I just have so many WrestleThoughts, man.
I did 3.
I have a WrestleThought.
I
have more WrestleThoughts.
That was a
Yoda? Anyway, it's that time. It's that time.
Poetry, wrestle.
Do you think we should do a WrestlePoetry theme each?
No.
I think we should just all like.
Jake, yours are always good.
Jake,
would you like to start?
Yeah, you do yours.
Yeah. Right.
WrestlePoetry theme.
The poetry of the wrestling. We're gonna shove it up your candy butt.
Watch your mouth on the podcast.
You're not gonna be finished, so please just shut up.
Wow.
Jake's theme tunes are all the same.
He did, you know what he did there though? He started high pitched, we started laughing, so he turned it down an octave or 2.
That was a lovely theme.
I would like to hear the poem because your poems are always beastie. Come on.
Yeah, I've only done 1.
I know.
I want to hear other people's.
No, come on, you're first up.
No.
Right.
Fine. I'm sorry, Ellsworth. There's nothing much to say. There's a man with 2 hands that you need to lay. You began to get a push, but then your push just got flushed. I'm sorry, Ellsworth. You're nothing much to say. You're a man with 2 hands who doesn't get paid. You turned on Ambrose, which wasn't a good sign. You ended up being at the back of the line. This ended up leading to Carmella, but it won't be long till you're SmackDown Women's Champion and join the Women's Division. I'm sorry, Ellsworth. There's nothing left to say.
That's amazing.
I love that.
That was excellent.
That's
you
amazing.
know what? You nailed it. There's actually nothing left to say, really.
I'm kind of disappointed in all of mine, man.
Yeah, no. Like,
that was touching.
do you know, I played your first poem to my wife, and she said that compositionally yours is the best.
Yes, I don't.
My wife knows things because she's Got a bigger brain than me.
I agree.
Who's next?
Can I go next?
Yeah. Yours are always fun.
So this week, week
that looks like a little one.
Week 1, I wrote a traditional rhyming couplets poem.
Heavy machinery.
About heavy machinery, who I love, who once again weren't on NXT this week. What's happening, guys? Come on. And then the second week I wrote a free verse spoken word poem because I wanted power. And when we were talking about the DIY breakup, it was powerful stuff. And so this week I've gone for a haiku, or 3 haikus specifically.
Can you explain a haiku to those of us who don't know what haikus are?
It's traditional Japanese poetry. It's only 3 lines, which don't rhyme.
I think Japan might be getting the Gonzales award.
if I didn't like, I wish I could live there. Anyway, the 10 not a rhyme. The first and the last lines have 5 syllables, and the middle line has 7 syllables. Mm-hmm. I got bored of counting syllables, so I went on a website that counted syllables for us. So my first poem is called Patrick. Great velveteen dream, mighty curiosity explodes. You are powerful.
I like it.
Have that one. My second haiku is called Scotsman. A Scottish killer. You have been away too long. The championship awaits. And my third haiku is called Unwanted Prince. You are now our chief. The Gaush don't need the Maharaja. Well, I do, my noble.
I don't really know what this is.
That was good.
So, mind-bogglingly, I can't speak.
Mind-bogglingly.
Doesn't matter.
Give up
with that one. It was confusing.
Why was it confusing?
I don't know, it just was.
Because they were short.
Yeah, I kind of like a longer poem. Haiku.
You've been big on your poem all week.
That was amazing.
I want to hear Tom's first.
Can we have a vote?
Right, Tom, I feel because Dave's bigged his poem up so much this week that you can go first, Tom, because it's going to be like the dessert.
So,
main event.
When I was asked to write a poem, I'm awful at poetry. It was never my forte.
It's Tom's game as well.
You'll fit in fine here
then. So what I did was I did a bit of research around limericks.
Wow.
Because I quite, from my homeland of Ireland.
You are from all of the lands.
I am from all of the lands. The land in which I was born upon, in Ireland, they love a good limerick. They do. So
they like to say, "Tabs Merlin."
They do. So I found a few limericks. I've written 3 down, and I've created my own for the end.
Are they about Finley?
No, they're not about Finley or Hornswoggle.
Does Finley love to fight?
No,
he does.
Stop.
He's only smoke.
What
are you doing? You can't stop it.
Come on. Do it again.
Come on, stop it. What are you doing? How are you doing?
Say, go on, don't throw him off the stage.
Ron, don't throw him off the stage.
He's on this one.
Don't tip the ambulance over.
Don't tip the ambulance over.
That was good.
Right, so what I did was I found these limericks online. It was like a bit of a quiz, and sort of you had to guess who the lyric was about. So I mean they're quite easy. They're not overly hard. So you can have a guess about who these are afterwards. So this is the first one. He's a showman like no other. When the 24-inch pythons are uncovered, the room is unglued. What you gonna do when I hit the big leg drop, brother?
Hogan.
That's Hulk Hogan.
Hoogsy.
Brother. Yeah. So this one's from the offset, really, really easy. So no one could make Vince whine like this rattlesnake until they'd align. 316 is his math, then he'll take a beer bath, and of course, that's the bottom line.
Stone Cold.
That's good. That was good.
Stealing these.
Yeah, these ones are online. Yeah. So,
alright.
So I've got one more from online, and then I've got one that I wrote.
You stole wrestle poems from the internet?
Well, I like them so much, I thought I had to share them with the world.
I don't know.
I can't remember. I will send you this thing. So this is the last one that I took from online. This is going back a bit, so you might know this one, Jake. I don't know. Just when you think he'll go, he'll pop up on for another show. But at least what's in store is a shot with a 2x4. And if you love America, say ho!
Doug.
So Jim Duggan.
The big Dougs.
He might come back and fight Shinsuke Nakamura in a flag match.
With his 2x4.
Those were awesome.
I don't know who that is.
If you were the person that wrote those, like, you know.
Feel free to contact us on
You said-
the email address by now.
So my last one,
I
I wrote this one this morning. Again, it's kind of easy to guess. So this is mine that I conjured up this morning, and
This is exciting.
yeah, it is. A man enters to the sound of a bell, a sound everyone knows so well. The yard is his own, with a hellish tombstone. He'll send you to the depths of hell.
Yes.
Undertaker.
Wow. That's great.
That was that?
So yeah, that's my.
I like when you wrote that last one.
Yeah, I
That's
wrote that.
awesome.
I wrote the Undertaker one. Yeah,
That's
this morning
awesome.
while sitting in a coffee shop.
Nice one.
Nice.
You know what? They were pretty impressive poems. I've picked
Yes.
mine up to be
Can I do a little theme for yours?
yeah.
Dave's poem. He's been talking about it all week. It'll be really good.
It's actually really bad, but like it's that bad it's good.
Bad good.
Yeah. So it's called How Are You Man Neville. It's kind of double barrel because there was Neville from Our Free the Same Pet and Neville from
I like it.
wrestling.
Which one are we referring to? Is it Neville from this?
Let's just think of both whilst I'm going. Alright. I need to compose myself because I'll probably start laughing. Who are you, man, Neville, man? Different be Shad. You're the cruiserweight champion, how? You're already the man. You're always doing that deep gargoyle face, but it's proper lush when you fly all over the place. There's no need to be proper large and all that. You're starting to look like a bit of a prat. And in deck, Sheeran Spuggy, you would never catch Jeff behaving like that, you would you, buddy? So how are you, man, Neville? Chill, man, it's all cush. Go back to the way you were when you were proper lush. You could be a Geordie legend like them lot I've already talked about. And a belter champion you will be, Neville. Of that, I've got no doubt.
It was amazing.
I love that.
How was that bad?
I love
That was
it.
happiness.
I love the over enthusiastic accent. As well.
And the name dropping of Spuggy and Jeff were my favourites.
It made us think of Jeff dying in that gas fire.
I'm sure he fell off a roof.
He did, man. There was another kid fell off a roof, became disabled, pissed himself in his
We
wheelchair.
don't need to talk about this.
Would you?
It's Jamaica Grove. It was a programme.
Just
from
because you
actual
were
when-
too young.
When we were teenagers, this was kids' TV.
No, some kid.
blind.
Dugan, I'm blind. The show's nice. The paintball good.
So you know Ant Deck from
Yeah.
off of the telly? They started on a TV show based in Newcastle called Biker Grove.
And it was about like
It was a youth club. And what happened was, which one is it that got blind? Was it Ant
Ant,
or Deck?
I think.
It was Deck, wasn't it?
No, it was
Deck.
Ant.
Was
Ant
it?
got blinded.
And got shot in the eyes. He
Was
took
it
it.
pink gun?
I was blind, man.
They were paintballing, and he took his
mask.
He took his mask off, and like the two paintballs, like on his, exactly on his eyes, which would never happen. He like had paint eyes.
I'm blind.
Oh yeah, man, Spuggy man. Different big ginger and all that. Like,
Brilliant. So yeah,
Big
WrestlePoetry
paint.
was fantastic. It's always my favourite time of the week.
So,
I enjoyed that.
Like
in my favourite time of the podcast, Gonzalez! Gonzalez!
Do you want to do that for a bit more? Because you look so happy when you do it.
Alright. Gonzalez!
I think we should do it like if we do the Gonzalez Award, like Jake should just do the theme tune because he does it with such glee.
Yeah.
Jake, would you like to explain what the Gonzalez Award is and why we have it?
The Gonzalez Award is because we did a practice episode for the podcast, and it was just a whole episode of quizzes. That's where we got the idea of our quiz from, by the way. And Gonzalez kept up coming in the quiz, so we made a Gonzalez Award thing.
So if we mentioned someone who was pap and funny during the course of the episode,
Japan.
I've got an idea.
I'll put Japan. Japan's awesome.
I've got an idea though for the Gonzalez Award this week. We've created a new gimmick for Shinsuke Nakamura this week, I feel, and I think this week's Gonzalez Award should go to our version of Shinsuke Nakamura. The Shinsuke Nakamura that comes to the ring with a Japanese flag and who gets beaten up by Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
racist Shinsuke.
That's the one.
That's what it's called. In his theme tune, ding 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 ding. like the old Oriental Express theme tune.
Yeah, so this week's Gonzalez Award, if everyone is satisfied with that, goes to Japanese gimmick Shinsuke Nakamura.
I would very much like WrestleFriends, a drawing from a talented artist of racist Shinsuke.
That would be good.
Yeah.
And you can contact us and feel free to be rude because I'll probably think it's funny. And also,
we want to hear everything.
I want to know your thoughts from across the board, whether you like us or you hate us.
Wait.
Jake's only 10 though, so be nice about him. So the email address is the WrestleFriends Podcast at yahoo.com. You'll find us on Facebook, on Twitter at friends_wrestle. We're on Instagram as well. We want pictures. We want, you know what? If you're an actual wrestler, I was thinking about this the other day, and you would like to come on the WrestleFriends Podcast because I know that there's wrestlers in Newcastle. I've seen them before, and we would quite like, you know, like that guy with the beard. What's he called? Primate.
Yeah, I like that.
I want Primate to come on the podcast.
Another wrestler that Jake managed to meet. Well, I didn't.
Yes, Jake got his photo. Got a selfie with him. I think what I'll do this week is I'll put all of our photos on from when we met wrestlers. You'll probably be able to see them on Facebook and Instagram.
You see me skulking around in the background like a little creep,
looking like a creep. And I'd also like to say thank you to Tom this week because it's been an absolute splendid guest and nice to have.
It's been a pleasure.
And maybe he'll come back one day.
Let's hope.
Yes. His interview to come.
Yes, stay tuned if you would like to hear us ask him questions about wrestling.
Thanks very much for listening, anyone who listened.
Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.
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 WrestleFriends.